Welcome to the Fantasy Audiobook. National Game. I can modify the blind box probability. Chapter 61. Although a bit unexpected, but Shenhe probably knew why something like this happened. The hatred is worth it. When the Black Snake boss enters a violent state, the range of its hatred value is also expanded. The boss will give priority to attacking the person with the highest hatred value within the hatred range. That is, Shenhe. Seriously. With so many people in the two teams, Shenhe actually didn't even think about trying to grab the boss. Even if I grab it, I can't survive with my current attributes. But it's different now. Boss actually took the initiative to find him. This is a gift from God. It's not his style not to take action. Buzz. Shenhe stretched out his hand. The next moment, a thick beam of energy shot out from Shenhe's hand. The thick energy beam accurately hit the Black Snake boss. -39,000. A terrifying figure emerged from the head of the Black Boss. The high damage figures caused the two adventure groups chasing the Black Snake boss to stop involuntarily. How many? Did I get dazzled? Was the damage number just now 3,900? I seem to have seen an extra zero. Hey, are you dazzled too? I also saw 3 zeros. Obviously what they saw was 39,000 points of damage, but those who saw it subconsciously thought it was a problem with their own eyes. I looked at 3,900 and saw an extra zero. It looks like 39,000. Shenhe's Dragon Blast instantly emptied the Black Snake boss's health bar. The body of the Black Snake boss fell to the ground with a crash, and 4 items flew out from its body. 2 purple, 1 blue, and 1 white quality item. There are obviously 2 purple items in the drops. Shenhe was the first to reach out to the ordinary white object. For nothing else, this white item is the job change mission item, Snake Gut. The Black Snake boss is also a black snake, and it also drops Snake Gallbladder. Grab all 4 items. Shenhe ran towards the town without looking back. All mission items have been collected. Go back and complete the task. Even if he changed his job successfully. Chase. Hand over the dropped items. Until he saw Shenhe collecting the drops from the Black Snake boss. Only a few people understood what happened. They all chased towards Shenhe. Shenhe ran away with all his strength. From time to time, he used his peripheral vision to check what was going on behind him. It was discovered that at least dozens of people were chasing him. This made him run without daring to stop for a moment. Wait until I reach level 40 and complete a turn, and see how I deal with you. Shenhe thought in his heart. Now, when I encounter this kind of formation, I have no other choice but to run. The equipment I have is really a bit too bad. Can you believe it? A level 39 player. Is the highest level equipment on your body only level 10? When Shenhe changes into the Grassland Guardian suit, his attributes will be doubled several times. Just when a group of people were chasing Shenhe, a voice rang out. Forget it, stop chasing him. Even if he kills a level 39 player, he won't be able to get anything. A man with golden light stopped the group members' pursuit. I have registered this guy's name on the wanted list. He is now level 39. He must be here to get snake gall materials. If you see him, kill him. The pursuers behind him did not catch up. This made Shenhe breathe a sigh of relief. Grandma, wait until I complete a turn and I'll see who dares to chase me. In order not to waste resources on transitional equipment, Shenhe also suffered a lot. Fortunately, you don't have to hold back any longer. As Shenhe walked towards the camp, he began to check the items he had just obtained. 1 mission item, Snake Gallbladder. Needless to say, there are 2 other purple and 1 blue. One of the purple items is a time card, which needs no elaboration. There is 1 blue and 1 purple left. Shenhe opened the blue item first. It's a piece of material. Snake tooth forging material. It's no use. Next one. Shenhe threw the snake tooth material into his backpack. He picked up the last dropped item, which was also the only item Shenhe was looking forward to. This is a bone spear that is completely shiny white. Snake bone gun. Level 40. Type weapon. Attribute bonus. Attack plus 400. Life plus 400. Physical penetration plus 20. Crit rate plus 10%. Passive. Curse of Life. Apply a Curse of Life effect to the person hit. Enemies under the curse of life will have their health recovery effect reduced by 80%, lasting 5 seconds. Another hit can refresh the curse of life time. Initiative. Snake Sting. Strengthen yourself. In the next 5 seconds, the attack speed will be increased by 50%, and the cooling time is 30 seconds. Equipment wearing limit. Level 40, Warrior Profession. Equipment introduction. Using the method of life sacrifice, the flesh and blood of a snake is completely connected to the snake's bones to create a spear. Hey, it's pretty good, isn't it? After reading the attribute points, Shenhe said with some surprise. Passive can reduce the healing effect, and active skills increase attack speed. Although it only lasts for 5 seconds, the bonus is 50%. That's right, I'll use you as a weapon for now. I'll change it when I find a better one. About half an hour later, Shenhe returned to the novice camp. Taking long strides, he walked towards the career hall. With a quick glance, he found the muscular professional instructor. He was chatting with the archer instructor, a girl with an amazing figure. Seeing this scene, Shenhe was slightly stunned. The archer profession was actually within his previous consideration range. After all, archers are the profession that can benefit the most from attack speed. But archers can't wear meat suits, as archers themselves are very fragile. There were 3 reasons why Shenhe chose a warrior instead of an archer. The first is that archers have serious shortcomings. Second, he remembered that warriors have continuous slash and 3 consecutive slash skills, which can accelerate and stack passive skills. There is also the most important reason. Tower of the Moon. The mission of the modifier, and the Tower of the Moon that the zodiac compass points to. The warrior profession is the optimal solution to the Moon Tower. After considering many factors, Shenhe finally chose the warrior profession. To be precise, it is the attack speed warrior style. Hello, mentor, here are 3 snake gallbladders, look. Shenhe came to the warrior mentor. Submitted 3 pieces of snake gallbladder material to the other party. Yes, it only took less than a day to complete. Young man, you are very talented as a warrior. This is your certificate. The warrior instructor handed a warrior badge to Shenhe. This is the badge of the warrior profession. Ding, congratulations on completing the job transfer task. Your level has exceeded level 40, and you have obtained the profession, warrior. A golden light flashed across Shenhe's body. Shenhe's level finally reached level 40. Finally level 40. Shenhe felt happy in his heart. The equipment I have hoarded so far can finally be equipped. Shenhe immediately left the profession hall. Came to a remote corner. Equip the equipment in your backpack on your body one by one. First, there are 4 pieces of equipment from the Grassland Guardian set. Grassland Guardian, Helmet Grassland Guardian, Breastplate Grassland Guardian, Bracers and Grassland Guardian, Leggings. Then there is the weapon we just obtained, Snake Bone Gun. This is not over yet. Shenhe took out another box. Grassland Guardian set optional gift box. You can choose from any of the Step Guardian sets. Shenhe chose Grassland Guardian, shoes. Grassland Guardian, shoes. Level, 40. Type, shoes. Attribute bonus, defense plus 80. Magic resistance plus 100. Life plus 200. Movement speed plus 50%. Initiative, quick step. After activation, within 5 seconds, the movement speed is plus 50%, and gradually weakens after 5 seconds. 2-piece set, life plus 200. 4-piece set, the shelter of the grassland passively returns blood, change to 1% of own blood volume plus 20. 6-piece set, 1 grassland shelter passive, which can also take effect in non-grassland environments, 220% injury-free. Equipment restrictions. Level 40, Warrior or Tank Profession. Equipment introduction. Holy objects grown from the grassland will be given to a favored person. He equipped himself with shoes. Set of 5 pieces of the Savannah Guardian set. In addition, it has the modulation passive Dragon's Fury. The 6-piece set effects of the Grassland Guardian set are all activated. After equipping himself with 6 pieces of purple equipment at once, Shenhe's current attributes have doubled several times. Level, 40, 0%. Occupation, Warrior. Property, Attack Power, 805, 5 points of basic attack power. Physical penetration, 20. Defense, 620. Spirit, 10. Basic Spirit 10. Magic Resistance, 590. Life, 2900 2900. Moving Speed, 150%. Crit Rate, 20%. Crit Damage, 20%. Skill, Meditation LV1. Basic Skill, meditation for 1 minute can restore 10 points of life and gain 10 points of experience. Basic Life Enhancement Passive, maximum health value plus 100. Block and Counterattack. Passive skill, make a blocking action. Successful blocking can reduce the damage received by 30%, and automatically carry out a counterattack. Equipment, Wrath of the Dragon, Grassland Guardian, Helm, Grassland Guardian, Breastplate, Grassland Guardian, Wrist Guards, Grassland Guardian, Shoes, Grassland Guardian, Leggings, Spider Web Transmitter. My current attributes have increased 3 to 4 times. Chen He looked at his current attributes with joy. The attack power has doubled, the defense has tripled, the magic resistance has doubled, and the HP has increased the most, 5 times. As for critical hits and explosion damage, critical hit rate is too low now. It takes about 5 times to get a critical hit, and the critical hit effect is 2.2 times the original damage. And the most important thing, the self-restoring effect of the 6-piece Prairie Guard set automatically restores 1% plus 20 points of blood every second. Chen He's current blood volume is 2,900 points. 2,900 * 1% plus 20 equals 49 points. He has 49 automatic replies every second. Don't look at the fact that you don't get much blood back. Many times it is of great use. Of course, this kind of self-recovery of blood is also afraid of serious injuries and the effect of prohibiting treatment. For example, Shen He's weapons and the snake bone gun's passive, Curse of Life, are serious injury skills that can greatly limit blood recovery. Forbidden healing skills are even more disgusting, as they directly prohibit the recovery effect. Now that you are at level 40, you can go to first level towns. No, wait a minute. Shen He got out of his backpack. An item was found. Broken Snake Forest Dungeon Key, used to open the key to the level 50 dungeon, the Broken Snake Forest. When this item is on the body, the hatred value of snake creatures increases by 150%, and there is a 70% chance of dropping it after death. Requirements for use. Turn the player around and go to the designated location to open it. Once you go to the town, it will be difficult to return to Novice Village. Shen He decided to finish the matter before going to town. The maximum accommodation level of Novice Village is level 40. If you want to return to Novice Village, the price will be to drop back to level 40. This price is almost unacceptable to anyone. You know, Desolate World has been out for 10 years now, but the current average level is still less than 60. From here you can know how difficult it is to upgrade after level 40. Nowadays, all players in the wild world can be roughly divided into 3 groups. The first batch is the people who worked hard in the wilderness in the first year. The first batch of players have either successfully transferred for the second time or are stuck at level 79. Those who are unable to transfer for various reasons are at least level 70 or above. If there is still time. The first batch of players in the pioneering period had no strategies and were the group with the highest elimination rate. Most of them, because there was no time to log in, bid farewell to the wilderness forever. But now as long as you stay, you will basically do well. Chen He's father belongs to the first batch of people. It's a pity that due to bad luck, I haven't collected the materials for the second round yet. Then comes the second batch. Players within 1 to 3 years after the wild world is opened. Due to various circumstances and reasons in reality, these people are unable to devote themselves wholeheartedly to the wilderness immediately. Shen He's mother falls into this category. Because of the sinking of the river. 2 years after the game was launched, she fully upgraded in the wilderness. This group of people are generally above level 60, a few of them have reached level 79, and there are even a handful of lucky ones who have broken through to level 80 and completed the second transformation. They are the luckiest group of people and have the strategies of the first pioneers. Moreover, at that time, the heroes were vying for the right to speak in the wilderness, which was the time when there was a shortage of people. Then comes the third batch. The players who only entered the game 3 years after the server was launched are basically those who have just come of age every year. That is, Shen He's group of people. At this time, the pattern in the wilderness has been basically determined. The 6 top guilds are the Sky in the wilderness. This group of players belongs to the new generation, with the oldest just 25 years old and the youngest 18 years old. The highest level is not level 70. Belongs to the new generation. It's useless to think too much. That limited time mission only lasts 1 day tomorrow. Complete it as soon as possible, and then go to Baiyun City to find Lin Miaotong. Shen He shook his head. Get rid of distracting thoughts. Then, he began to act according to the guidance of the key to the Broken Snake Forest copy. Shen He followed the guidance all the way. Return to the vicinity of the Black Snake Swamp map. No, I have so much hatred in my body now, do I still have to go deep into the Black Snake Swamp to trigger the dungeon? Shen He felt a little numb. When the Black Snake boss sees him, he will abandon the person who beat him to a pulp and pounce on Shen He. From here you can see how high his hatred value is. Just when Shen He was thinking about how to enter the depths of the Black Snake Swamp, a member of the Fang Adventure group discovered traces of Shen He. It's him, the guy who robbed the boss before. Brothers, do it to him. A voice rang out, and hundreds of responses were heard instantly. Several people around him immediately rushed towards Shen He. They are all members of the Fang Adventure group. Looking for death, Shen He said in a low voice. Now that he has returned here, he has expected this to happen. But now at level 40, Shen He, whose attributes had doubled, had no fear at all. His current defense and magic resistance. Even when a player comes, it is difficult to break his defense. There is also a passive blood regeneration of 49 points per second in the Grassland Guardian suit. Faced with several players who were less than level 40 and rushed over, the snake bone gun in Shen He's hand swept away. -501. A bright red damage number appeared from the top of the man's head. More than half of the health bar disappeared immediately. The current Shen He, even without relying on Dragon's Wrath, does a lot of damage. Full body level 40 purple suit, and a red ghost weapon. It is estimated that a person wearing a golden suit would have more terrifying attributes than Shen He. What the hell kind of harm is this? The visitor was frightened by Shen He's injury. But the weapon in his hand still struck Shen He. What happened next made the visitor seem a little desperate. Because, it can't break the defense. No damage was done at all. Take the move. A voice came from the side. It was a man in a robe, and he was pointing towards the sky. The staff in his hand exuded a purple aura. The next moment, a thunderbolt hit the exact location of Shen He. But, still can't do any damage at all. Shen He's current double resistance has reached a very outrageous level. Goodbye. Shen He took another shot and killed the player in front of him. There is no need to trigger the Dragon Fury passive anymore, or in other words, most players now cannot survive the Dragon Fury passive activation in his hands. Wusheng killed 3 people, but the others couldn't hurt Shen He even a hair. This man is a monster, run. Seeing that the situation was not going well, the members of the Fang Adventure group immediately dispersed. Don't leave if you can. Our leader will be here soon. A man said harshly. Of course, if you use ruthless words, you will use ruthless words, and the speed of escaping is not slow at all. Naturally, Shen He was too lazy to chase after him. He would not just sit around and abuse others. Dispelled a few troublemakers, Shen He continued to follow the guidance and headed deeper into the swamp. The black snake monster at this time was almost like a clown in Shen He's eyes. None of them can break Shen He's current defense. Even if there are dozens of them together, it takes a little time to clear them all. But Shen He was too lazy to waste time cleaning up the mobs and just ignored the mobs attacking him. Concentrate on walking in the direction specified by the copy key. This situation, coupled with the high hatred value that comes with it, resulted in a very spectacular scene. He ran alone in front, chasing a large group of black snake monsters behind him, and there was a steady stream of black snake monsters joining them. Behind him was a long tail. Not long after Shen He left the swamp entrance, a group of people gathered over. Most of them are one-turn players. Boss, he has gone deep into the swamp. We have brothers who have been following him. Chasing and robbing our boss is simply asking for death. A large group of people walked towards the depths of the swamp. At this time, Shen He didn't know that there were a large number of people walking towards him in a mighty manner. He had come to a muddy area that exuded a strong stench. The location indicated by the key is right here. When Shen He came to the side of the mud, the key lights up and becomes usable. Ding, do you want to use the prop Ragged Snake Forest Dungeon key? The sound of the system rang in Shen Yi's ears. Shen He did not choose to use it for the time being. Instead, he opened the forum and searched for Dark Snake Forest copy on the forum. Although the search results are relatively few, they are still there. Shen He clicked on the top post. Then I started browsing. After a while, Shen He closed the post, and then browsed several other posts. After reading 3 posts in a row, Shen Hekai closed the forum. He has a certain degree of confidence about the next trip to the dungeon. The Broken Snake Forest dungeon is not a simple monster-killing dungeon. In other words, there are very few dungeons after level 40 that are simply about killing monsters, usually mixed with some elements such as decryption or collection. Level 50 Ruined Snake Forest copy. In this copy, there are a total of 5 boss, which can be simply named as 1-point snake, 2-point snake, 3-point snake, 4-point snake and 5-point snake. You can tell it from the yellow scales on each boss's neck. A snake has only 1 yellow scale, and so on. The difficulty of the boss also increases with the snake's score. Kill a boss every time. The score of this boss will be passed to the next boss. For example, if you kill a 3-point snake first, and then encounter a 2-point snake for the second time, the strength of the 2-point snake will become a 5-point snake of 2 plus 3. Then if you encounter a 5-point snake again, the current 5-point snake will become a 5 plus 5 10-point snake. In the dungeon, there is no reward for killing the boss. Each time you kill the boss, you will receive corresponding points. It is not necessary to kill all 5 boss. As long as you feel enough is enough, you can leave at any time. Theoretically speaking, the benefits of hitting a 5-point snake first seem to be the highest. Start with a 5-point snake, and then decrease in descending order, hitting a 4-point snake, a 3-point snake, and then to a 2-point snake and a 1-point snake. In this case, you can get 5 points, 9 points, 12 points, 14 points, 15 points, a total of 55 points. This should be the highest, right? After reading the guide, Shen He held the copy key. Prepare to enter the copy. The most expensive item in the Broken Snake Forest dungeon shop is a skill book. Worth 50 points. Snake Venom Stimulation Technique. Snake Venom Stimulation Technique. Consume 50% of blood volume immediately, and increase attack power by 50% for the next minute. Ding, do you want to enter the Broken Snake Forest instance? The system's beep sounded in Shen Yi's ears. This time Shen He did not refuse and chose to agree. The next moment, Shen He felt his body light up, and there was a feeling of dizziness in his head. His eyes closed unconsciously. When he opens his eyes again, he found himself standing in front of a small wooden house. Ding, welcome to the Broken Snake Forest dungeon. You can stay in this dungeon for up to 2 hours. If you exceed 2 hours, you will be expelled directly. Please allocate your time reasonably. This is the snake spirit shop mentioned in the guide, right? Shen He stretched out his hand and opened the door of the store. Can be seen, there are rows and rows of items in the store. All are clearly marked with price. The first one was the snake venom stimulating skill that Shen He had seen in the guide before. Deduct 50% of your own health and increase your attack by 50%, lasting for 1 minute. It feels like a pretty good skill. But Shen He just glanced at it and then skipped this skill. Because he saw a skill book ranked relatively low. This is a skill that can be redeemed with only 15 points. Continuous / active skill. Perform 2 normal attacks in a row, cooling time is 5 seconds. Occupation limited. Warrior. This skill is suitable for me. It can stack 2 passive layers at a time. Shen He fell in love with this skill. In fact, Shen He chose warrior skills largely for this skill. A warrior skill that is not particularly rare. But to him, it is comparable to a magical skill. Moreover, Shen He also knew there is also a warrior skill called 3 consecutive cuts, which is a second-level warrior skill. Can perform 3 normal attacks at once. If it were in his hand, it would only take 3 consecutive slashes to fully stack the Dragon Fury passive. It's simply not too fun. Shen Yi's eyes reluctantly left the continuous cut skill. Sure enough, I can't completely believe in the guide. The skills introduced by several authors are all the most expensive, but the most expensive is not necessarily the best. Chen-He was ready to wait until he got this continuous flashing skill. Just forget about elementary life specialization. He has always had the ability to wash items in his hand, but he has never had any good skills. This is why the basic life specialization skill has stayed in his skill bar for such a long time. Now, it can finally be deleted. Continue to view other redemption items. Soon, another item that interested him appeared in front of him. You need 30 points to redeem Skill Slot 3. Skill Slot 3. After use, the third skill slot can be opened. Good thing, I calculated 30 plus 15, which is equal to 45, and there are 10 points left. After seeing two things he liked, Chen-He continued to check out the Snake Spirit store. Unfortunately, this time, after looking through the redeemable items, Chen-He didn't see anything he liked. Seeing that a quarter of an hour has passed, he could only stay in the dungeon for another hour and 45 minutes at most, and Chen-He felt that he could no longer waste time. Go kill the boss first, get the points, and then take a closer look at the store. Otherwise, it would be ridiculous to choose for a long time and have no points in hand. Set off. Chen-He pushed open the store door. Follow the directions given in the guide. Go to where the 5-minute snake is. You need to follow the order from snake with 5 points, to snake with 4 points, and finally to snake with 1 point. Only then can you get the highest 55 points. On the contrary, if it is in the order from 1-point snake to 5-point snake. This is the lowest ranking, with a total of only 35 points. Of course, without knowing the mechanism. If you walk the 5 snakes in random order, usually it's over 40 points. That's it. Not long after, Chen-He arrived near a bamboo forest. You can see a big green snake about 5 or 6 meters lying and resting in the bamboo forest. You can see that there are a row of 5 yellow scales on its neck. This means that this is a 5-point snake boss. I'm going to test the waters first. Chen-He walked straight towards the boss. The equipment he is wearing now is a proper physical suit. His defense and health are very high, but his attack power is a little low. Without the attack power bonus of Dragon's Wrath, he only has 400 attack power now. The attack power is not as high as the defense power, and the effect of the suit is to increase health and self-recovery. It's no problem saying it's a tank outfit. The warrior outfit doesn't add so much dual resistance, nor does it have so much health. The double resistance and blood volume of the assassin's equipment are even lower, and they are all focused on attack, penetration and double explosion. Chen-He appeared in front of Wuffen Snake so carelessly. It immediately aroused the vigilance of Wuffen Snake. It immediately coiled up. There was a snake in his mouth, and he made a hissing sound. Hey, man, come on. He pulled out the snake bone gun and pointed at the 5-minute snake. The 5-point snake was enraged and pounced towards Chen-He. Chen-He shot the snake on the head. -435. A bright red number emerged from the top of 5-point snake's head. Chen-He's 805 points of attack power, plus 20 points of physical penetration, resulted in 435 points of damage. It can be easily calculated that the 5-point snake's defense power is 390 points. Without Dragon's Wrath, Chen-He, who was wearing a Prairie Guardian suit, could only deal 35 points of pitiful damage. But that's right, his equipment is mainly for absorbing damage in the current row. Ghosts can only cause harm. The 5-point snake swept its tail onto Chen-He. -223. A somewhat funny number appeared from Chen-He. With Chen-He's several hundred points of defense, the 5-5 snake could only cause more than 200 points of damage to Chen-He. Even 1/10 of Chen-He's health was not lost. And the next second Chen-He's blood volume decreased. +49. A healing number jumped out of Chen-He's head. This is the Grassland Guardian set, the most important self-recovery effect. Very good, Chen-He praised. Very satisfied with my current attributes. This attribute is definitely among the top among level 40 players. After some testing, Chen-He's blood didn't drop much, but he suffered 2 passive 5-point snakes from Dragon's Wrath. Chen-He was about to die. Now Dragon Fury is passive, with a full 4,000 points of real damage, and 5 points of Snake's HP, which is just over 10,000. Okay, I can send you away. The tip of the snake bone gun turned golden. Dragon Fury is passive and triggers. Next hit. 4,000 points of real damage. Buzz. There was a crisp sound. The snake bone spear was stabbed into the 5-minute snake's body. Minus 4,000. The terrifying 4,000 points of real damage directly cleared the remaining 30% of the 5-point snake's health. Ding! Congratulations on killing the wooden snake and earning 5 points. Wuffenshi fell, and Shenhe retracted his gun and fought back. For now, this copy is not difficult for him now. The 4-point snake is in this direction. Oh no, it should be called a 9-point snake now. After killing the snake for 5 points, Shenhe walked in the direction of Jiffen Snake without stopping. About 5 minutes later, Shenhe found a 9-point snake in a pool. This is a blue water snake. If you look closely at its neck, you can see 9 yellow scales there. The first person to discover this pattern was simply a man of genius. Shenhe said with admiration. In the system's broadcast, it was not said that this was a bit of a snake. 1-point snake, 2-point snake. This is what players call these boss. It's not an official title. A snake with a score of 9 is almost twice as strong as a snake with a score of 5. Very simple arithmetic problem. But even if the attributes are almost doubled, in Shenhe's hands, it's just a little more time wasted. There is no need to operate anything at all. With the Grassland Guardian suit, Shenhe's defense has been greatly enhanced and more than half of Shenhe's shortcomings have been covered. Ding! The water snake has received the death rattle blessing of the wooden snake, gained 125 health points enhancement, and increased the passive skill, Vitality. Vitality. Automatically restore 1% of blood volume every second. It seems like it's getting a little trickier. Shenhe tightened his grip on the weapon. Look at this posture. The snake boss at the back will not only get enhanced attributes, but it seems that it will also gain the passiveness of the dead boss in front. Never mind, this passive will make the boss more durable and acceptable. Shenhe then strode towards the water snake boss. It took more than 10 minutes. Shenhe finally killed the water snake boss. The water snake boss not only has more than 20,000 health points, but also has 43 health points per second. Don't forget, this is Shenhe's snake bone spear passive. The life curse is in effect. Reduced healing effect by 80%. There are still more than 40 points automatically restored per second. If there is no life curse passive of snake bone gun which inhibits blood regeneration. The boss's self-recovery blood is more than 200 per second. If we keep fighting like this, we won't be running out of time, right? Probably not. I still have Dragon Explosion in hand. In the next 12 minutes, Snake can directly use Dragon Explosion. The cooling time is 1 hour. At 15 minutes, Snake's HP should be around 36,000. He can also use Dragon Explosion. Seconds. In this way, we only have to face the 14-point snake. A 14-point snake with the characteristics of a 5-point snake, a 4-point snake, a 3-point snake and a 2-point snake. Computing room. Shenhe arrived near the third snake boss. The third snake boss is a fire snake in a crack in the ground. 12-point snake. Ding! The water snake has received the death rattle blessings of the wooden snake and the water snake. It has gained 400% health enhancement, and added passive skills, Vitality, and passive skills, Water Armor. Vitality. Automatically restore 1% of blood volume every second. Water Armor. 30% damage reduction, and 200 points of water element resistance. Damage reduction buff. Shenhe's heart sank. Although it will not affect the real damage of Dragon's Wrath, it will further reduce his damage. Shenhe couldn't bear to think about how the last 15-point snake with all 5 buffs on his body would look like. Fortunately, with Dragon's Wrath in hand, Shenhe has a certain ability to skip classes. If you want to lower the difficulty, you should actually start from 1-point snake. In this way, although you won't get many points, the difficulty will be reduced a lot. Shenhe has now basically completely understood the mechanism of this copy. Next, it's time to completely clear this copy. Please go to hell. Shenhe came to the 12-point fire snake. Reach out and aim at the 12-point fire snake. Dragon Blast. A thick beam of light suddenly shot out from Shenhe's hand, carrying endless power and rushing straight towards the fire snake boss. The light of the light pillar was so dazzling that it seemed to illuminate the whole world. The fire snake boss had no power to resist in front of this terrifying beam of light, and was instantly submerged in it. A terrifying damage figure appeared from the head of the fire snake boss. Minus 40,000. A full 40,000 points of damage instantly emptied the fire snake boss's health bar. The moment the light beam disappeared, the fire snake boss also disappeared without a trace, as if it had never existed. There was only silence at the scene, with only Shen He standing there, with the remaining power of the light beam still in his hand. 12 points for the fire snake boss, kill instantly. The dragon blasting skill also dimmed at this time. You need to wait an hour before you can use it again. The maximum time limit for a copy is 2 hours, and there is still about an hour and 20 minutes left. It's enough for Shen He to wait for the cooldown of Dragon Explosion skill to be completed. Next is the last boss I need to deal with. Shen He let out a long breath. He can kill the last 15-point snake in seconds with Dragon Blast, but the penultimate one is 14-point snake. He would have to face it. According to my current configuration, there should be no problem, right? Even though this is a level 50 high difficulty copy. Shen He was slightly worried. The next 14-point snake is the golden snake. It will be blessed with 4 kinds of buffs. However, there is no use thinking about it now. You still have to face it after all. Shen He immediately set off and walked towards the location of the 14-minute snake. Under the restoration of the passive skills of the Grassland Guardian suit, Shen He hasn't reached the vicinity of the golden snake boss yet. It has already recovered to full health. The golden snake boss is located at the entrance of an abandoned mine. He is using his mouth to continuously swallow some soil. This time, there was no movement from Shen He yet. The golden snake discovered Shen He. Immediately, baring his teeth and claws, he rushed towards Shen He. The size of the golden snake was much larger than the combined size of the 3 snakes Shen He had encountered before. The bucket is thick and thin, and its length is 5 to 6 meters. Minus 754. A bright red number appeared from Shen He's head, causing a quarter of Shen He's blood to disappear instantly. Ding! The golden snake gets the death rattle blessings of the wood snake, water snake and fire snake, and gets 700% health enhancement, and increases the passive skill vitality, the passive skill water armor, the passive skill fire. Vitality. Automatically restore 1% of blood volume every second. Water armor. 30% damage reduction, and 200 points of water element resistance. Fire. Critical hit rate plus 30%. Attack power plus 200. The system's beep sounded in Shen He's ears. It explained why the 14-point golden snake was so painful just by attacking Shen He. The fire snake's passive directly increases the critical hit rate by 30 points and the attack power of the golden snake boss in front of him by 200 points. Of course, the system's beep did not fully explain why the 14-point snake could deal such high damage. Because there is one more thing. That is the golden snake's own passivity. Golden Blade. Physical penetration plus 300. The damage of more than 700 points just now was still the damage before the critical hit. Such horrific damage. For a moment, Shen He felt like he wanted to retreat instinctively. But luckily Shen He held it back. He must score these 14 points, otherwise, the points will not be enough to redeem the continuous slash skill and open the 3rd skill slot at the same time. The 2 items combined require 45 points, unless Shen He is willing to give up one of them. Although the skill continuous cut is probably not a rare thing. But if you can get it now, it is definitely the best thing you can get now. There seem to be a lot of thoughts and they are very messy. But in fact, it just flashed across Shen He's mind. Next, the battle to meet Shen He may be the most difficult battle Shen He has ever encountered. Bang! Shen He's spear pointed at Golden Snake's body. With a 30% damage-free effect, Shen He only dealt less than 300 points of damage. Minus 287. And, the next moment, a healing number appeared from the head of the Golden Snake boss. Plus 67. When the therapeutic effect is reduced by 80%, it can still restore 67 points of blood per second, which means there is no life curse. The self-recovery amount of the Golden Snake boss is about 335. 1% automatic recovery per second. The total blood volume of the Golden Snake boss has exceeded 30,000. A total of more than 30,000 health points, almost equal to 2 big cousins. Yes, that's right, the boss who has left the deepest impression on Shenhe so far. It's not a spider mother boss with a blood-locking mechanism, but a big cousin with extreme numerical values. Shenhe estimated that he might need a set of golden equipment to defeat his cousin at level 10. It's a pity, who would put so much effort into purchasing a set of level 10 gold equipment that will soon be eliminated. The price is too high. No value for money at all. It seems like I'm getting off topic, so let's get back to the topic. Shenhe quickly and roughly calculated the snake's data of 14 points in his mind. Combined with the 14 points of damage from the golden snake boss, my heart sank unconsciously. But this is an unavoidable uphill battle. Call out. A tail swept towards Shenhe's body. Shenhe subconsciously took a step back. Let go of the snake's attack for 14 points. Then he stabbed the 14-point snake with a very smooth shot. A bright red number was typed. -287. Until this time. Chen Hekai suddenly realized something. When did my skills become so agile? The moment I saw the golden snake boss waving its tail. His body took a step back instinctively without any thought. Pace training. Shenhe's eyes lit up for a moment. This is the result of the pace training on the 3 floors below the Prairie Wolf tomb. It's just that Shenhe hasn't been happy for long. I was immediately slapped in the face. Facing the tail swiping at him again, Shenhe didn't respond this time. I got a solid 14 points from the snake. The house leaked and it rained all night. This blow, luckily or unfortunately, triggered a critical strike. -1508. A somewhat terrifying number jumped out on Shenhe's head. Shenhe was knocked into a state of residual health in an instant. Depend on. Shenhe cursed loudly. This kind of instinctive reaction of the body is not very reliable. That's actually true. How long has he been training? Moreover, Shenhe has only done this one operation so far. The situation is critical. Shenhe couldn't allow himself to think too much. He can only pretend that it doesn't exist and continue to play according to the regular way to continue to beat the 14-point snake. However, sometimes, the more you want something, the less it will come. But when you don't care, it comes again. About half an hour later, Shenhe was still slowly dealing with the boss. Bite. Shenhe's steps were nimble and he just took a slight step forward. It seemed that he had dodged the attack of the 14-point snake very gracefully, and even made a quick stab. Full stacks of Dragon's Fury passive. Next second. Boom. Having been passive by the dragon's anger, it was dyed golden yellow, snake bone spear and bombarded the 14-point snake. -4000. The 4000 points of damage directly caused the 14-point snake, which didn't have much health bar to begin with, to lose its health bar again. Only about a third is left. At this moment, Shenhe seemed to have forgotten that he was fighting a boss. His body seemed to be controlled by a mysterious force, becoming light and agile. Every step is like walking on the clouds, full of poetry and rhythm. His steps were no longer heavy, but became extremely elegant, as if the whole world was at his feet. If someone could see Shenhe's eyes at this time, they would find that his eyes were wandering. There was a deep confusion in those eyes, as if they had lost focus. He seemed to be in some kind of deep thought, completely immersed in his own thoughts, turning a blind eye to everything outside. The sinking river in this state reminds people of a person who is sleepwalking. Although he moves freely, he is in a state of absent-mindedness. However, it is this state that makes his movements extremely elegant and smooth, as if he has integrated with the surrounding environment and become a part of this world. Intel. Ding. Congratulations on killing the golden snake boss. A system beep brought Shenhe back to reality. Only then did Shenhe react with excitement. The 14-point golden snake boss in front of him has turned into a cold corpse. Just now, that person was me. Shenhe couldn't believe it and stretched out his hands. Flow. Shenhe reacted belatedly. This state should be what my father called the flow state. What a strong state. Experience the power of flow state firsthand. This made Shenhe pay more attention to the hunter badge that he unexpectedly obtained than ever before. There is also training on the 3 underground floors of the Prairie Wolf tomb. According to Banksia Chingcheng, the training on the 3rd underground level is only 1/6 of the hunter training, and the pace training is about the same. After completing the marriage letter mission, you must quickly pay attention to the hunter badge. Shenhe thought about his next plan. Now, there is only the last 15-point snake left in the copy. Its HP should be around 36,000, which is within the killing range of Dragon Explosion. It's just that the cooling of Dragon Explosion hasn't finished yet. Shenhe took a look and the Dragon Explosion skill had cooled down. He still had 20 minutes to go. It took him almost 40 minutes to beat this 14-point snake. Then just wait. Shenhe sat on the ground. Being idle was idle, and he continued to search for relevant information on the ruined snake forest copy on the forum. Because Shenhe felt something was wrong. The difficulty of the broken snake forest copy. There seems to be something wrong. Although Shenhe has never played a level 50 high difficulty dungeon before. But now, the difficulty shown by the copy. There are only so few dungeon rewards, which seems a bit unreasonable. Something is wrong, something must be wrong. Shenhe began to browse the strategies for the ruined snake forest dungeon in large quantities. There are very few strategies for this copy. There are only 2 pages in total, 13 items in total. Shenhe had only read a few popular posts before. Now, Shenhe read all the posts. Anyway, there are not many in total. This time, I really found something. It's in the penultimate post, which basically doesn't have many views. Shenhe saw what he wanted to see. What the author posted is not a guide to the ruined snake forest. It is a screenshot of the introduction of an item. That is an item called 5 Elements Snake Stone. 5 Elements Snake Stone, a specialty product produced in the ruined snake forest instance. There is no such thing called 5 Elements Snake Stone in the shop in the Broken Snake Forest dungeon, so I suspect that the items displayed in the Snake Spirit shop are not all the products. There are also some hidden products, but this part of the hidden products need to meet specific conditions before they will appear. According to my estimation, those hidden products will only be revealed after passing the level with full scores. Of course, this is just my guess. After all, you will only unlock it if you pass the level with 55 points, and if you clear the level with 55 points, there will be additional points reward. Of course, it's too difficult to pass the level with full marks, so I don't recommend trying it. Although this is a level 50 dungeon, it's located in Novice Village. This is obviously an embarrassment. Seeing this, Shenhe closed the post. Although, he still doesn't know what secrets there are in this copy. But, basically, it is certain that this copy will not be as simple as it seems. About 10 minutes later, Shenhe walked towards the last 15-point snake. It's the last moment. When Shenhe came to the 15-minute snake, the dragon blasting skill has just finished cooling down. The last 15-point snake is a soil snake. The core passive of Earth Snake is Thick Armor. Thick Armor, Defense plus 200, Magic Resistance plus 200. The current 15-point snake combines the passive skills of each of the 5 snakes, plus a terrifying blood volume. It has reached an inhuman level. The most intuitive expression is Ding. The Earth Snake gets the Death Rattle blessing of the Golden Snake, Wood Snake, Water Snake and Fire Snake, and gets 1500% health enhancement, and increases the passive skill Vitality, the passive skill Water Armor, the passive skill Fire, passive skill, Golden Blade. Vitality. Automatically restore 1% of blood volume every second. Water Armor. 30% damage reduction, and 200 points of water element resistance. Fire. Critical hit rate plus 30%. Attack power plus 200. Golden Blade. Physical penetration plus 300. The blood volume is as high as 36,000 points, plus these 5 passives. Just thinking about it makes my scalp feel numb. Fortunately, Shenhe has the dragon blasting skill. Looking at the 15-cent snake lying on the ground in the distance, covered in earthy brown, Shenhe did not hesitate. He immediately appeared and came to the side of the 15-minute snake. The 15-minute snake that found traces of Shenhe was just like several other members of its kind. Seems very irritable. Baring his teeth and claws, he flew towards Shenhe. But Shenhe didn't panic at all. Just waiting for you. Shenhe stretched out his palm and pointed it in the direction of the 15-minute snake. Dragon Blast. The next moment, the light in Shenhe's palm flourished, and a thick beam of light spurted out like a dragon emerging from the sea. With a fierce momentum, it instantly bombarded the earth-brown 15-point snake boss. The light of the light beam was extremely dazzling, as if it were a sharp sword, easily cutting off the 15-point snake. Where the snake's body broke, a piece of dust splashed up, and the snake's blood sprayed out, forming a blood mist. At 15 minutes, the snake's body fell heavily to the ground, twitched a few times and then stopped moving. Minus 40,000. A high number appeared from the head of the 15-cent snake. In an instant, the 15-point snake boss's health bar was cleared. Is it finally over? Shenhe was originally happy because he killed the last 15-point snake. But this joy did not last for 2 seconds. Shenhe's pupils suddenly shrank. Can be seen. 5 colorful streams of light, like 5 agile colorful snakes, shot out from the earth snake's broken body. They dance in the sky, intertwining and twinkling. These streams of light entwine with each other and gradually converge into a bright 5-pointed star gate. Each corner of the 5-pointed star shines with a unique light, symbolizing the power of the 5 elements. There is a mysterious atmosphere surrounding the door, as if it is a passage connecting to another world. The whole scene is dreamlike. Sure enough, there are changes. Shenhe didn't look too surprised. Rather, it was expected. This level 50 dungeon appears in Novice Village, which is very abnormal. There is also copy difficulty. Shenhe estimated that without considering the ghost weapon. I'm afraid you need a golden quality level 40 warrior suit to clear this dungeon with a perfect score of 55 points. While thinking, Shenhe came to the colorful gate constructed from the power of the 5 elements. Observe carefully. That's when Shenhe was observing. Ding, have you entered the ruined snake forest, inside? The system's beep sounded in Shenhe's ears. Shenhe did not choose to enter immediately. But he hesitated slightly. From now on, there is no strategy that can help him. Next, he can only rely on himself. And, Shenhe had a premonition. In the future, we will encounter more and more situations without strategies. There will be less and less things he can learn from in the future about strategy. Call. Take a deep breath. Shenhe strode towards the gate composed of 5 elements. Enter. Facing the system's inquiry, Shenhe's answer was, yes. Immediately, it was a dizzy feeling that Shenhe was very familiar with. A burst of suction came from the portal, sucking Shenhe in. When Shenhe opened his eyes again, he found himself in front of an altar that looked a little weird. Without a guide, you have to rely on yourself for everything. Shenhe looked extremely cautious. This is an altar that looks a little dilapidated. There are 5 pillars distributed around the altar. The 5 pillars present the structure of a 5-pointed star. It looks a bit similar to the previous portal structure. Shenhe walked around the altar. No special circumstances were found. In other words, it seems that this altar is just a ruined altar. On the other hand, there is an empty groove on each of the 5 pillars, which seems to be able to put something into it. Around the altar, there are 5 paths leading into the distance. The end of the paths is pitch black, as if there is some beast hidden there. It seems that I need to follow these 5 roads to retrieve something before I can proceed to the next step. Shenhe speculated. Now, he had a dark eye on the next steps. You can only continue to conquer this copy according to your own ideas. Shenhe continued to check the 5 pillars. He is not in a hurry now. Since entering here, the dungeon time countdown has disappeared. In other words, the time limit no longer exists. Shenhe walked around the 5 pillars and looked at them one by one. I found that there were obvious marks on each pillar. The flame mark represents the fire attribute, the wave mark represents the water attribute, the leaf mark represents the wood attribute, the metal knife mark represents it, and the hill mark represents the earth attribute. However, although Shenhe knew the attributes represented by each mark, but it doesn't seem to be of much use. Perhaps the score from the previous level is also a reminder in this level. Or is there a certain correlation? Shenhe thought for no reason. The earth snake is worth 1 point, the gold snake is worth 2 points, the fire snake is worth 3 points, the water snake is worth 4 points, and the wood snake is worth 5 points. Could it be that it has a certain connection with this level? Shenhe's eyes lingered on the 2 pillars representing earth and wood for a while. To be precise, there are 2 roads behind 2 pillars. The earth snake is a 1-point snake on the previous level, and the wood snake is a 5-point snake, if there is a connection. One is the highest score and the other is the lowest score. It depends on God's will. Shenhe took out a junk dagger weapon from his backpack. Then throw it towards the sky. Bang! The dagger hit the ground with a crisp sound. The tip of the dagger pointed in the direction of the wooden pillar. It looks like it's God's will. It's up to you. Shenhe put away the dagger on the ground. No matter how small a mosquito is, it is still meat, right? Then walk towards the path behind the wooden attribute pillar. Shenhe walked along the path for about 2 minutes. The world in front of me suddenly lit up. He saw 2 big, thick trees. Ding, welcome to the wood trial. After completing the trial, you can get Wood Orb X1. The system's beep sounded in Shenhe's ears. The next moment, the surrounding big trees stood up and pulled out their lush roots from the ground. Brought out a lot of dirt. Ding, any form of recovery effect is prohibited during the trial. The tree guard will receive 200% recovery effect. Please kill the 2 tree guards within 30 minutes. I heard the system beep. Shenhe finally knew the content of the so-called wood trial. That is, when recovery skills are prohibited, within 30 minutes, kill 2 tree guards with double recovery effects. Monsters like the tree guard are quite famous. In addition to its famous high defense and thick blood volume, it also has very powerful blood recovery skills. What a pity, I also have the means to seriously injure you. Shenhe's face looked much more relaxed. This is a level that tests output ability. But unfortunately, Shenhe's output ability is absolutely explosive. The movements of the 2 tree man guards seemed very slow. Shenhe could easily dodge the 2 attacks and came to one of the tree guards. Snake Sting. Shenhe activated the Snake Bone Spear skill. The movement of the hand suddenly became much faster, as if fast forward was put on. Snake Sting. Strengthen yourself. In the next 5 seconds, the attack speed will be increased by 50%, and the cooling time is 30 seconds. Shenhe used extremely fast speed to stab a tree man guard 3 times. -57, -124, -57. 3 somewhat funny figures appeared from the top of the tree guard's head. It's actually a bit funny that it can only deal double-digit damage. Then, +100, +100. 2 recovery figures emerged from above the tree guard's head. The little damage Shenhe dealt was filled up almost instantly. But at this time, the spear in Shenhe's hand had turned golden yellow. -4000. A terrifying number appeared from the top of the tree man boss's head, directly knocking out almost a quarter of the health bar of one of the tree guards. About 16,000 blood. Shenhe made an elegant movement and took a step back. Dodged the lame and clunky attacks of the tree ant guards. At the same time, he also used the body of one of the tree guards as a cover to block the space for another tree to attack him. Then just output as much as you want. It didn't take 30 minutes at all, it only took less than 5 minutes. The first tree guard was knocked down by Shenhe. Next, continue in the same way. In less than a few minutes, the second tree guard was also killed by Shenhe. When the second tree guard boss is killed, a blue orb flew out of nowhere and appeared in front of Shenhe. If nothing else, this is the trial reward. Ding, congratulations on completing the wood trial. You will be rewarded with the wood orb. Done. Shenhe put away the wooden orb and returned towards the direction of the previous altar. Successfully returned with the wood orb. Shenhe placed the orb of wood on the pillar representing the attribute of wood. There is exactly a groove in the pillar. The wooden orb can fit perfectly. Click. The orb of wood is connected to the groove. The entire pillar shook, and then emitted a soft green light. An object spurted out from the altar. This was something that made Shenhe feel familiar. Isn't this the item called 5 Elements Snake Stone shown in that guide? A transparent shield enveloped the 5 Elements Snake Stone. Shenhe immediately reached out and touched the transparent shield. Ding, do you want to consume X1 of the orb to exchange for the item 5 Elements Snake Stone? You currently hold X1 of the wooden orb. The system's beep sounded in Shenhe's ears. This made Shenhe immediately retract his hand. 5 Elements Snake Stone. Although Shenhe knew that this thing was unusual, he had no idea of its specific use. Moreover, there may be other redemption items, so there is no rush to redeem them right now. Take a short rest. Shenhe started moving again. His eyes swept over several pillars. After thinking for a while, Shenhe fixed his eyes on one of the pillars. He is ready to complete these 5 trials from high to low. Then, the second trial is the water trial. Of course, Shenhe didn't start taking action immediately. Instead, He waited for a while. Why wait, you ask? Of course, wait for the skill of dragon explosion to cool down. After entering this space, the copy countdown is over. That means he can wait for the dragon to explode. Tens of minutes later, Shenhe stood up. Dragon explosion skill has been cooled down. Shenhe walked forward along the path. Really, it didn't take long. The scene in front of Shenhe quickly changed. In front of him was a small pool, and he was standing by the pool. When Shenhe's vision became clear, the system's beep sounded in his ears. Ding, welcome to the water trial. After completing the trial, you can get Water Orb X1. Ding, any form of reply effect is prohibited during the trial. The water elf will receive 200% of the original reply effect. Ding, any form of damage reduction effect is prohibited during the trial. The water elf will obtain 200% of the original damage reduction effect. Please kill 3 water elves within 30 minutes. The system beep sounded just now. Ripples suddenly appeared on the surface of the quiet pool, and then 3 groups of crystal clear water flew out. They twist flexibly in the air, as if they are alive. In an instant, these 3 masses of water transformed into 3 human-like water elves. The 3 water elves are petite in stature, completely transparent, with blurry faces, exuding a mysterious aura. Hey, is it the same as before? The effect of prohibiting recovery has also been brought to this level. Shenhe instinctively took a breath of cold air. If you keep superimposing it like this, it will become more and more terrifying in the future. Moreover, these are still 3 monsters. Even the dragon explosion skill seems a bit weak in this case and cannot play a decisive role. Another shortcoming of the dragon explosion skill is also revealed, that is, it can only output a single target. When encountering such a group of monsters, it feels like killing a chicken with a sledgehammer. In other words, asking you how much sorrow you can have is like a pickup truck hacking away at a skeleton. Shenhe couldn't help but think too much. The 3 water elves had already rushed toward Shenhe. Water elves are elemental creatures and are immune to physical attacks and water elemental damage. But the damage of earth element and ice element is doubled. Well, these characteristics have little to do with Shenhe. He doesn't have the means to attack with elements. Court death. Shenhe faced several water elves and faced them head-on. The spear in his hand stabbed quickly. Double damage reduction. Physical immunity. Sorry, that doesn't work for me. As long as it is not an invincible effect, or a very rare real shield, it is 100% damage reduction, and it will not have any effect on Shenhe. The water elf's health is a bit more fragile than the previous tree guard. It took Shenhe nearly 10 minutes to deal with all 3 water elves. When the last water elf was passively killed by Shenhe's dragon rage enhanced normal attack. In the pool in front of Shenhe, a ripple suddenly appeared on the sparkling water. Immediately afterwards, a blue bead the size of a fist slowly emerged from the water. It is like a brilliant sapphire, exuding mysterious and charming light. Ding, congratulations on completing the water trial. You will be rewarded with the water orb. The system prompt sounds. Shenhe reached out and took the blue orb in his hand. The second one, Shenhe said to himself. He had a feeling that if he completed all 5 trials, maybe something extraordinary will happen. Taking the water orb, Shenhe returned the same way and returned to the altar. The pillar representing the water attribute was found, but Shenhe did not place the water orb on the pillar for the time being. Is it possible that as long as it is not placed on the pillar, the water attribute effect will not be triggered in the next trial? Shenhe said speculatively. This is pure speculation on his part. Conjecture without any evidence. Next, he needs to use actions to verify his ideas. After taking a short rest, Shenhe walked towards the trial of fire. As long as you know whether there will be water attribute buffs and debuffs this time, you can know whether Shenhe's guess is right. So what is the result? The result is of course. There is no impact. Even Shenhe didn't place the orb of water on it. Shenhe is in the trial of fire. You still have to accept the water attribute debuff. This time the enemy is a salamander. Ding, welcome to the trial of fire. After completing the trial, you can get Orb of Fire X1. Ding, any form of reply effect is prohibited during the trial. The salamander will receive 200% of the reply effect. Ding, any form of damage reduction effect is prohibited during the trial. The salamander obtains 200% damage reduction effect. Ding! The critical hit rate during the trial is halved, and the salamander gets to double the critical hit rate. Please kill the salamander within 30 minutes. The system's beep sounded in Shenhe's ears. Trial of Fire is aimed at critical hit rate. Assassins who play critical strikes are basically equivalent to being directly eliminated at this level. The critical hit rate is directly cut in half. Of course, this still doesn't have much impact on Shenhe. He has a total of 20 points of critical hit rate, which was cut in half, but still has a 10% critical hit rate. Please go to hell. Shenhe clenched his weapon and walked towards Salamander. Chapter 71. The salamander didn't last long in Shenhe's hands. He was killed by Shenhe. The orb of fire also fell into Shenhe's hands. Go back and install it and see if there are any changes. Shenhe clutched the orb in his hand and returned to the edge of the altar. Place the water orb and the newly obtained fire orb on the pillars next to the altar. There was a tremor. The two orbs and the pillar fit together perfectly. Two items also appeared on the altar. It's a fan and a glass ball. Xiaoyao fan. After use, it can increase its own charm value by 10 points within 1 minute, with no cooling time. Exchange price. Orbs including water orbs x2. This thing. The corners of Shenhe's mouth turned up unconsciously. It's really just a drop. Of course, he will definitely not replace this thing. To put it bluntly, this thing is to make you look handsome. Shenhe quickly jumped over Xiaoyao fan. Look at another glass ball-like thing. If you look carefully, you can see a cicada-like creature sealed in the glass ball. Amber stone ball. Exchange price. Earth orb x1. What is this? Shenhe scratched his hair. I felt a serious lack of knowledge. 3 things in a row were things he had never seen before, or even heard of. The only thing that's certain is, these things are definitely good things. Don't be too busy changing. Let's complete the other 2 trials first. Now, Shenhe still has the trial of gold and the trial of earth left to complete. According to the order, Shenhe came to the golden trial. The debuff added to Shenhe this time is that Shenhe's physical penetration and spell penetration are all invalid, and Shenhe's opponent, a level 50 porcupine boss, has double the penetration. During the trial of gold, Shenhe carries 4 layers of debuffs on his body. Life recovery is prohibited, damage reduction effects are invalid, critical hits are halved, physical penetration and spell penetration are invalid. Shenhe's life-saving, damage-bearing and output abilities were weakened in almost all aspects. But Shenhe still managed to kill the porcupine boss in less than half an hour despite 4 layers of debuffs. Obtained a golden orb. Afterwards, Shenhe at least took a short rest. Without stopping, we came to the final earth trial. This is the final trial. The final trial. Shenhe has an extra layer of debuff that reduces his defense by 200 points. Shenhe's opponent was a pangolin with enhanced defense. I saw the single boss. Shenhe was relieved. It doesn't matter if you carry 5 debuffs on your body. Goodbye. Shenhe faced the guardian of the last earth trial, a pangolin boss. It took him an hour to use his ultimate move, Dragon Blast. The thick energy beam hit the pangolin boss. A bright red number appeared on the head of the pangolin boss. Its health bar was instantly cleared. This was supposed to be the most difficult boss. Within 3 seconds of appearing on the stage, he received his lunch box. Ding! Congratulations on completing the Earth trial and obtaining the Earth orb. The system's beep sounded when the pangolin boss fell to the ground. An earthy yellow ball also condensed from the body of the pangolin boss. This time, there is no need for Shenhe to pick up that earthy yellow ball. Orb of Earth took the initiative and flew towards Shenhe and fell into Shenhe's hands. Ding! You have completed all the trials. Please complete the reward redemption within 15 minutes, otherwise it will be deemed as giving up. The system voice sounded. The next moment, the environment around Shenhe changed dramatically. The scenery around him disappeared one after another. The body of the pangolin also disappeared. Shenhe blinked. Then I saw the altar with 3 pillars that had been lit. I feel like there will be unexpected good things. Shenhe rubbed his hands excitedly. Put the 2 items, Earth Orb and Gold Orb, into the corresponding grooves. As all 5 orbs returned to their places, the 5 pillars suddenly emitted a dazzling light. It was as if the altar had been reactivated. The intense bright light made it impossible to open one's eyes. After a long while, Shenhe opened his eyes again, and then he discovered that there were two more things on the altar. One of the things exuded a pleasant red light. The existence beyond golden weapons. Ghost weapon. In an instant, Shenhe's heart started beating wildly. Almost all eyes were attracted by this red light. Snake's hidden, unleveled ghost weapon. Exchange price. Gold orb x1, wood orb x1, water orb x1, fire orb x1, earth orb x1. It is necessary to exchange all the rewards Shenhe received in this level to exchange for this item. It was almost with great difficulty that Shenhe stopped his desire to immediately exchange for this unqualified ghost weapon. He is 80% sure. This snake hidden as one of the 12 zodiac ghost weapons. Because it appeared together with this levelless ghost weapon. There is one more thing. Although, Shenhe didn't quite think of the value of this thing. It can be compared with snake hidden, a non-level ghost weapon, but you still have to take a look first before drawing any conclusions. One last thing. It's a job transfer certificate. Shadow Dancer's job change certificate. Exchange price. 3 orbs including fire orb and water orb. This seems to be a job-changing tool used by an assassin to hide his profession. Shenhe took a look. Didn't show much interest. He is a warrior profession. Why do you need the job-changing items of the assassin profession? In fact, there was no assassin professional around Shenhe. His father is a warrior and his mother is a mage. Even if you get it in your hands, you can only sell it for money. Finished reading all 5 redeemable items. Shenhe didn't need any hesitation now. Use all the orbs to exchange for the unleveled red ghost weapon, Snake's Hidden. Ding, do you want to consume gold orb x1, wood orb x1, water orb x1, fire orb x1, earth orb x1, and exchange for the item, Snake's Hidden? The system asked Shenhe one last time. Yes, Shenhe replied very firmly. The next moment, the 5 surrounding pillars became dim because of the loss of the orb. The 5 rays of light were all injected into the transparent shield surrounding the levelless ghost weapon, Snake Hidden. Click, click, the shield shattered. The ghost weapon, Snake's Hidden, emitting red light was completely exposed in front of Shenhe's eyes. Shenhe touched it with his hands excitedly. Get this item in your hand. Snake's Hidden. Level 0. Type jewelry. Attribute bonus. Crit rate plus 1% asterisk level. Passive. Snake nature. In the stealth state, you will not be attacked to break the stealth effect. Initiative. Snake Hidden Strike. The first attack launched while in stealth state will receive a 900% critical hit damage bonus. This skill can be released at most once every 10 minutes. Equipment wearing restrictions. None. Equipment introduction. One of the powers extracted from the ancient wizard after sealing the evil dragon. When Shenhe saw the equipment introduction, it's extremely certain. This piece of equipment is one of the 12 zodiac ghost weapons. That is, these passive and active skills are all effective against assassins. Shenhe is a bit emo. For the assassin profession, it is not an exaggeration to say that this thing is a magical skill. Attribute enhancement gives critical hit rate, passive skills directly optimize the assassin's mechanism, and active skills can obtain a 900% critical hit damage bonus. I can't eat either passive or active. Shenhe scratched his head. At most, he can only get one attribute bonus. His current level is level 40. Can get 40% critical hit rate bonus. Other than that, it's gone. Such an assassin artifact, equipped on Shenhe, really feels like a pearl covered in dust. With the added 40% critical hit rate, it's not completely useless. Shenhe took out the zodiac compass and placed the jewelry in the corresponding position. Snake Hidden and the snake-shaped groove on the zodiac compass can fit together perfectly. Although I'm not the explosive type, the panel is still pretty good looking. Shenhe casually clicked on his own panel. Level 45%. Occupation warrior. Property attack power 805, 5 points of basic attack power. Physical penetration 20. Defense 620. Spirit 10. Basic spirit 10. Magic resistance 590. Life 2900 2900. Moving speed 150%. Crit rate 60%. Crit damage 20%. Skill. Meditation LV1 Basic Skill. Meditation for 1 minute can restore 10 points of life and gain 10 points of experience. Primary Life Strengthening Passive. The upper limit of health is plus 100. Block and Counterattack Passive Skill. Make a blocking action. Successful blocking can reduce the damage received by 30% and automatically carry out a counterattack. Equipment. Zodiac Compass, Dragon's Wrath, Snake's Hidden, Grassland Guardian, Helmet Grassland Guardian, Breastplate Grassland Guardian, Wristguards Grassland Guardian, Shoes, Grassland Guardian, Leggings, Spider Web Launcher. Except for the critical hit rate changing from 20% to 60% and the changes in the equipment slot, there are no changes. It's time to go. Chen-He glanced at a light door in front of him. When he chose to exchange for the unleveled red ghost weapon, Snake's Hidden. This light door appeared in the middle of the altar. After redeeming the reward, Chen-He walked towards the light door without any nostalgia. In the copy of the ruined snake forest, there was a flash of light. A person appears out of thin air. It is Chen-He. He returned to the broken snake spirit instance. The countdown also continued to move. There is still about half an hour of copy time left. It can be considered quite abundant. There are still things in the snake spirit store that need to be replaced. Chen-He confirmed the direction. Then he walked towards the snake spirit store. Entering the snake spirit shop, Chen-He chose to redeem the continuous slash skill and skill slot 3 without thinking. Ding, do you want to consume 45 points to redeem the skill continuous slash and the item skill slot 3? Yes, Chen-He replied immediately. Just finished answering. The two items came into Chen-He's hands. Chen-He clicked to use it directly. Ding, you get skill slot 3. Ding, you have learned the skill, continuous slashing. Two voices rang in succession in Chen-He's ears because he had gained another skill slot. Therefore, Chen-He no longer needs to delete elementary life specialization. I can't delete you yet, can I? Chen-He looked at the basic life specialization in the skill slot and complained. Such a low-level skill cannot be deleted. Now, there are 10 points left. Chen-He continued to check in the store. It feels like there is nothing good left. It seems that it cannot be said that, to be precise, it is in the case of 10 points. Nothing good left. Just choose this one. Chen-He ordered a 10-point exchange item. A small bag of snake spirit flower seeds. Redemption price, 10 points. Chen-He didn't see any other exchange items, so he chose a seed. At this point, Chen-He had spent all his points. Go back to the village and log off. Tomorrow we will go to the town through the teleportation array. There is only the last day of the mission left. Chen-He was ready to exit the copy. What Chen-He didn't know was, at this time, there were 40 or 50 people near the location where he entered the dungeon, guarding the area. In order to guard Chen-He, that group of people didn't even bother to upgrade, and just waited for him in a daze. Ah Chai, are you dazzled? Did you really see him enter the dungeon? Said a player carrying a bow and arrow. His voice was full of doubts. He suspected that the person he called, Akai, was lying. According to the information I checked, this is the entrance to a level 50 high difficulty version called the Ruined Snake Forest, which requires a key to open. Isn't that right? Akai asked rhetorically. That's right, the dungeon of the Broken Snake Forest is limited to 2 hours. If it were the dungeon of the Broken Snake Forest, people would have come out long ago. The man carrying a bow and arrow cursed. A group of them. I have been squatting here for nearly 4 hours. However, not even Chen-He's hair was seen. If it were a copy of Horror Snake Forest, it would have ended long ago. It's not like I can't see anyone now. That's why he suspected that his younger brother was lying. Let's go, wasting time. The archer man yelled. So much time has been wasted. You must know that every second in the wilderness requires time. Real time is money, not metaphorical. These dozens of people spent 4 hours on it. Calculated, 7 or 8 days were wasted. Just when the archer man called his people to leave, there was a flash of light. A man suddenly appeared in the middle of a group of people. You guys, okay. Chen-He glanced at the posture in front of him. He understood his situation almost instantly. To know. Before he came, there was no one in the area nearby. Now, there are so many people around. And, the badges on this group of people look so familiar. Aren't these the same group of people who dare not go to the towns and dominate the novice village? Hello. The corners of Shen He's mouth raised. Then. Just do it. It has never been Shen He's character to be passively beaten. He likes to take the initiative. Continuous cuts. Shen He directly activated the new skill he had just acquired. He continued to point at a person who was far away from him in the crowd. -500. -1100. Two high injuries jumped out from one person's body. His health bar was cleared in an instant. Also triggered a critical hit. Because it has a 40% critical hit rate bonus from the Snake Hidden Ghost Weapon, plus a 20% critical hit rate bonus from Shen He's other equipment. With a critical hit rate of 60%, Shen He can now deal critical damage very easily. A continuous slash of 1,600 points of damage instantly took away a crispy person who was less than level 40. Assassin, mark him to prevent him from sneaking. The archer man's reaction was very quick. Immediately direct the people in the team. I saw a mage immediately waving his staff at Shen He. Shen He instantly felt that there seemed to be something extra in his body. Ding, you are affected by the skill in Hunter's Mark, and you will not be able to enter stealth state for 30 seconds. The system's beep sounded in Shen He's ears. This made Shen He want to laugh a little bit. Sneak, he has no stealth skills. This skill was given to him, but it was basically useless at all. Instead, Shen He determined who the commander was. Bite. A sword struck Shen He's body. This is an attack from a player less than level 40. There was a clear chirp. The sound is pretty nice, but it doesn't do any damage at all. Shen He is equipped with defensive equipment, plus upgrade points, all of which are added to the defensive power. If there is no level 40 player, players equipped with level 40 weapons can't even think about breaking his defense. The level 40 first level archer player also immediately understood Shen He's thoughts. Stop him, the archer player ordered. The movements of his hands are not slow at all. Pull out an iron arrow, bend the bow and set the arrow. Shooting towards Shen He. Overlord arrow. Thick arrows shot towards Shen He quickly. Because the distance was too close, Shen He couldn't dodge at all, and it was too late to block. Because he had just stabbed an assassin to death with one shot, and the weapon had not been recovered. He forcefully withstood an attack with his body. -213. A bright red number appeared from the top of Shen He's head. How come? Before Shen He could react, the player made a startled sound as soon as the archer turned around. This is his ultimate move. You can only deal this little damage. Can only deal so much damage. Shen He was also in pain at this time. A huge force came from the front. Shen He was shaken back several steps by the force. He was already very close to the archer commander, but now he was knocked back several steps. Knockback effect. Shen He fired a shot at a crispy person on the side. Also triggers a critical hit effect. It directly dealt 1120 points of damage. That little crispy skin was wiped off in an instant. Not only that, the spear in Shen He's hand had turned golden at this moment. 3 passive accumulations completed. The next basic attack is converted into Dragon Rage to strengthen the basic attack. Causes 100 * level damage. Go to hell. Until this time. A group of talents woke up from a dream and began to attack Shen He. However, players below 1 turn are basically unable to cause damage to Shen He. Moreover, it makes people feel that a collapse scene has occurred. +49. +49. Every second that passes, 49 points of life recovery will appear on Shen He's body. Ultra low damage, coupled with such high self-recovery. By the way, it also has super high attack power and critical hit rate. A group of people simply felt like they had met a boss. To be precise, it is a boss with relatively low blood volume. Based on the damage numbers, Shen He's blood volume can actually be roughly calculated. It should be almost 3,000 points. This amount of blood is relatively thick among first-level warriors and relatively thin among first-level tanks. In fact, it is within the normal range. But Shen He's double resistance is a bit outrageous. There is also such a high critical hit rate and attack power. It also comes with self-recovery. It's a boss, so there's really no problem at all. It is also a flexible boss that is not controlled by hatred value and has its own thinking. Goodbye. Shen He came to the archer's side again. The golden spear clicked on the body of the first-turn archer player. -4,000. A terrifying number appeared above the head of the archer player. The high amount of damage directly emptied his health bar. 4,000. A boy next to him even stuttered a bit when he spoke. 4,000 points of damage. Can a human type this? Killed. Chen He felt relieved. Among this group of people, it was actually the one-turn archer who posed the greatest threat to him. Not only is he a commander, he also does a lot of damage. Moreover, there is a control effect. If he didn't get rid of him, Chen He felt that he might really capsize. But it's fine now. The last bit of threat is gone. Next, Chen He looked back at the group of people who were still attacking him. When the archer commander was killed by Chen He, the group of people were confused for a moment. For a moment, I didn't know what to do. It would be great if there were still experiences that could be plundered now. Chen He thought in his heart. Like a tiger descending from the mountain, it started to kill the remaining people. Until Chen He killed several people. The remaining people dispersed like birds and beasts one after another. This man is too strong. There is no way to match it. After Chen He hacked them to death one by one. There was no option to pursue. Hey, I asked you to mess with me. Seeing a group of people fleeing, Chen He stretched out comfortably. Always duel with bosses that exceed the standard. Chen He couldn't even feel his own strength. Now compete with these players. Suddenly I felt that I had gained strength, and it seemed to be quite high. Go to town tomorrow. Chen He yawned, feeling extremely comfortable all over his body. This is his current strength. Chen He rested all night. The next day, Chen He first came to the warehouse and got the hunter badge and Fairy Miaotong's marriage letter, 100% dropped items, in his hands. Arrive at the teleportation point in the village. After reaching level 40, you can go to the town through this teleportation array. There are thousands of first-level towns to choose from. Chen He chose Baiyun town without much thought. Both parents are here. His father is also one of the vice presidents of a guild called Lan Tian. In the entire guild, only the president, Lan Tian Baiyun, is a second-level player. However, don't rush to find your parents. Let's complete this task first. Chen He looked at the marriage letter from Fairy Miaotong in his backpack, and then looked at the tasks in the taskbar. After completing the mission, you should be able to use the blind box to modify the permissions and unlock the unleveled ghost weapon, Dog's Immortality. Countless thoughts flashed through my mind. Chen He activated the teleportation array to Baiyun town. Accompanied by this intense whirlwind. Ding! Welcome to the first-level town, Baiyun town. You have completed the city reputation task, meeting Baiyun for the first time, and you will be rewarded with X10 city reputation points. Ding! Please go to the Baiyun Town City Lord's mansion as soon as possible to conduct household registration verification to unlock various benefits and permissions in Baiyun Town. The system prompt sounded in Chen He's ears. A strong feeling of nausea made Chen He feel dizzy and want to vomit. Although he had been on many teleports before, this was the most uncomfortable teleport for Chen He. It took several seconds for Chen He to adapt. Chen He raised his head and could see that the street was densely packed with people of all kinds. People in their 50s and 60s can be seen everywhere. On the contrary, people above level 40 and above level 70 are relatively rare. Is this Baiyun town? Chen He looked at the bustling street and all kinds of people on the street. Hello, do you want to join our Qingyan Adventure Group? Although it is not a guild and it has just been established, our Qingyan Adventure Group is also very powerful. Just when Chen He was relieving his dizziness, a girl wearing archer equipment next to the teleportation formation asked cautiously. Seeing that Chen He didn't respond, he continued. Join our adventure group and you can get a free hotel and a salary system. Next to her, there was an assassin throwing daggers for fun. It seems that the newcomers are staying here. No, thank you. Chen He declined politely. He doesn't want to join any organization. If he has to rely on the strength of the team, he would rather create his own. Anyway, there is no way he could be inferior to others. After politely declining the invitation, Chen He's dizziness had almost disappeared. Let's go and find Lin Miaotong. While walking on the street, Chen He searched for Lin Miaotong's address on the forum. Lin Miaotong is considered one of the most famous NPCs in Baiyun town. Not only is he good-looking and has a cool temperament, but he is also very powerful. The most important thing is that she is the professional mentor of the mage's hidden profession Qin Xian. This is a hidden career path exposed. You need to have a favorability of Lin Miaotong level 3 or above to have a chance to draw the certificate of Qin Xian's job change from Fairy Miaotong's Immortal Fate box. Even if you get it, don't be happy too early. The piano fairy profession really requires you to be able to play the piano. Part of the job transfer trial. I just give you some music scores and ask you to play them. If you don't have guzheng skills, even if you get the Qin Xian career change props, it won't mean much. Most of the props for changing jobs are one-time consumables, and they are gone after one failed use. Because of Lin Miaotong's reasons, many people are now learning the art of piano art. Musical weapons have also been fetched a very high price. Qin Xian is a hidden profession that can be seen and touched. Moreover, this profession is awesome. Can apply group buffs to friendly forces within a wide range. A second-level Quinxian can even give a full level 1 guild 10,000 people, all with buffs. Think about it, what is this concept? A truly strategic treasure. And, that's not all, Qin Xian's own output ability is not weak either. Among the hidden professions, the Qin Xian profession can also be ranked among the best. Okay, that seems to be a bit off topic. Back to topic. Shen He easily found Lin Miaotong's information on the forum. If you don't search, you won't know. If you search, you will be shocked. He just entered the 3 words, Lin Miaotong, as the keyword. I saw the number of post pages of 999 plus. You can see various angles and take photos of Lin Miaotong from a distance. He danced solo on the city wall, plucking the strings with his slender fingers, surrounded by the blood and fire of the battle between the 2 armies. Walking in the bamboo forest, under the bright moonlight, she is wearing a white gauze skirt, reclusive and independent, and is followed by a maid who looks very bold. There are also photos taken while walking around the city. There are a lot of people cosplaying Lin Miaotong. Is it in the east of the city? After a lot of effort, Shen He added the keyword, residence, and then Shen He found the information about Lin Miaotong's residence. After confirming the location, Shen He immediately walked towards Lin Miaotong's residence without stopping. Miaoshinju, spacious backyard. A huge blue dragon was twisting its body in pain. Its scales shone with a mysterious light, and every twist caused the ground to vibrate, as if it was venting some unspeakable pain. Suddenly, there was a soft sound of piano in the air. The sound of the piano is like the sound of nature, melodious, and seems to have a magical power. The dragon's movements gradually slowed down, and its eyes changed from pain to calmness. As the sound of the piano continued, the giant dragon completely quieted down and lay quietly on the ground. The sound of the piano was like a clear spring, flowing in every corner of the yard, surrounding the giant dragon. After about a few minutes, the dragon's body slowly shrank and turned into a human. Isn't this Shaolin or who is it? At this time, Shaolin's body was still covered in scales. Seeing that the scales on Shaolin's body were about to fade away, revealing her snow-white skin. A plain hand covered Shaolin's body with a blue blanket. The situation is getting more and more serious. Lin Miaotong frowned slightly. If this continues, I won't be able to control it anymore. It must be resolved as soon as possible. Lin Miaotong looked at Shaolin on the ground and said to herself. It was at this time. Shaolin's eyelashes moved. Shaolin opened her eyes blankly. What happened? Why did the yard become like this? Shaolan asked cutely. Nothing, you can go to a place with me tomorrow. Lin Miaotong seemed to have made up her mind and said. Ah, miss, what did you say? Shaolan still looked confused. It's nothing. Get dressed and go back and rest for a while. You just collapsed from exhaustion. Lin Miaotong explained. Ah, sorry, miss, I'm sorry, I'm so useless. Shaolin apologized repeatedly. Even his voice became a little whimpering. While talking, Shaolan's voice changed. The scales that had faded from the body surface quickly covered the snow-white skin again. Not good. Lin Miaotong's eyes flashed. Shaolan actually once again showed signs of becoming a dragon. Lin Miaotong stretched out her hand. A guzheng appeared on Lin Miaotong's thigh. The sun shone on her body, outlining a soft outline. Her eyes were focused and gentle, and she gently stroked the guzheng on her leg, as if she had a tacit understanding with it. When her fingertips lightly touched the strings, a crisp and sweet sound surged like ocean waves. The voice was like the sound of nature, melodious and melodious, like crying and complaining. The notes poured into Shaolin's body like a tide. As the music flows, a kind of tranquility gradually appears on Shaolin's face. The signs of dragon transformation were once again suppressed. It's been a long time. Only then did Lin Miaotong stop what she was doing. He wiped a thin layer of sweat on his forehead with his sleeve. No, I can't wait any longer, I have to leave now. Lin Miaotong stretched out her hand. A talisman filled with unintelligible words written in cinnabar appeared in her hand. Then Lin Miaotong put the talisman on Shaolin's forehead. Lin Miaotong stopped after a series of words. I can't wait any longer. It must be resolved as soon as possible. Lin Miaotong took Shaolin back to her room and placed her on her own bed. Carrying his piano on his back, he walked towards the door. Tuck tuck tuck. Just when Lin Miaotong walked to the door and was about to open the door, there was a sudden knock on the door. Lin Miaotong subconsciously opened the door. A slightly familiar face caught Lin Miaotong's eyes. Opening the door so quickly. Doesn't it say in the guide that it usually doesn't open the door? Shen He muttered in his heart. Lin Miaotong is not something anyone can see if they want. I have something else to do, see you soon. Lin Miaotong bowed slightly towards Shen He, and then walked quickly towards the door. The door closes automatically. Something happened. Goodbye. Lin Miaotong's words made Shen He feel frightened. He only has the last day left. What if Lin Miaotong disappears for a day? Wait, Miaotong, fairy, look at this. Shen He quickly took out the marriage certificate. Fairy Miaotong's marriage letter, mission item, 100% dropped after death. You can go to Baiyun City to find Lin Miaotong to trigger the mission, get married. Really? After seeing the marriage certificate in Shen He's hand, Lin Miaotong's delicate body trembled. He looked at Shen He in disbelief. It's you. Lin Miaotong's voice had a slight vibrato unconsciously. But soon, her voice returned to that cold calmness. I have something urgent, please come with me. Lin Miaotong continued without looking back. While talking, the person had already fled several meters away. Shen He quickly chased after him. Ding, you have received the mission, get married. Ding, the mission has changed. Please assist Lin Miaotong in completing the Dragon Ball trial. Will you participate? Warm reminder. If you refuse to participate, it will not affect the wedding mission. The system's voice rang in Shen He's ears. Although I don't know what this Dragon Ball trial is. But Shen He has no choice now. There is only the last day left today. Now I can only bite the bullet. Shen He followed Lin Miaotong without hesitation. The two of them were running around in Baiyun City. After about a few minutes, the two came to the teleportation formation. Sit tight, the teleportation distance is a bit far, so be prepared. Lin Miaotong's voice sounded. The next moment, Lin Miaotong waved his sleeves. The teleportation array immediately lit up with a dazzling light. At this time, there were many people surrounding the teleportation array. Shen He could hear these people's conversations very clearly. Quickly, report Fairy Miaotong's whereabouts today to the people of the Eternal Guild. The vice president of the Eternal Guild has already increased the reward for Fairy Miaotong's marriage certificate to 1,000 years. What 1,000 years? Someone immediately showed a greedy look. 1,000 years. As expected of the vice president of the Grand Guild, he is so courageous. In 1,000 years, there are so many in one shot. It's terrifying. Even if it's just some information and clues, you can go to him and get certain rewards. Shen He only listened for a few times. I saw the light of the teleportation array lighting up. Immediately afterwards, his vision went black and he passed out. The farther the transmission distance, the greater the pressure on the user. Under the terrifying pressure, Shen He passed out directly this time. Eternal Guild headquarters. A man carrying a big sword was listening to his younger brother's report. Eternal Wuzhong listened to what the younger brother said. The expression on his face has undergone some changes. You mean, someone triggered Fairy Miaotong's mission. The two of them got on the teleportation array together, and now they don't know where they are. Eternal Borderless asked with confirmation. Yes, President. The younger brother lowered his head and replied. Okay, I understand, this is yours. Eternal Borderless casually threw a purple card out. Time card. 1 year. Just for this kind of news, Eternal Borders gave him a 1-year time card. No, we must act quickly. Whether it's for the third turn materials in her hand, or to get her herself, we can't sit still and wait for death. The eternal and boundless eyes flashed rapidly. It can be judged based on the information he obtained during an expedition. Lin Miaotong is really a fairy. The reincarnation of a true great power in the wild world. If only she could get her first time. You can get something of color quality. That is something of a higher level than red quality items. Blood of fairies. This is a 4th turn material. 4th turn material. In the current wilderness, there is not even a 3rd level player. But it doesn't happen now, doesn't mean it won't happen in the future. 4th turn materials are actually not something that can be encountered at this stage. And, even if you don't count this, Lin Miaotong herself is also an extremely outstanding woman, with good looks and good temperament. His abilities are also extremely outstanding. A mentor with a hidden profession, he has nearly turned 3. Let alone 1,000 years, even if it takes 10,000 years, as long as you can get the marriage certificate, it will be worth it. Shen He slowly opened his eyes, and his blurred vision gradually became clear. He raised his head, and the first thing he saw was a beautiful face. Then, he realized that he was resting on her thigh, and a soft touch came, accompanied by a faint fragrance. He recalled the teleportation just now, and the powerful force made him faint. At this moment, his body felt a little heavy, as if it was enveloped by an invisible pressure. Seeing that he was awake, Lin Miaotong said coldly, "Your physique is too poor to withstand ultra-long distance teleportation." Shen He shook his head and tried to sit up. He felt a little ashamed and said sheepishly, "Thank you, thank you. Since you have my marriage certificate in your hand, I should fulfill my promise. However, there are urgent matters now. Let's wait until this matter is completed." Lin Miaotong said. He reached out and tapped Shen He's temple. Lin Miaotong's cold hands gently pressed Shen He's temples. Her fingers sent a cool force through her skin. This coolness poured into Shen He's brain, making him shudder. Shen He felt that his thoughts became clear almost immediately, as if a breeze had blown away the fog that shrouded his mind. He took a deep breath, the fresh air filling his lungs and refreshing his spirits. "Is it better?" Lin Miaotong asked. "Much better, thank you," Shen He replied. "Then let's go. This matter is very important and must be completed as soon as possible." Lin Miaotong stood up. With a wave of his hand, an invisible force lifted Shen He up. Only at this time did Shen He feel free and began to observe the surrounding environment. This is a dark underwater cave. The walls of the cave are as smooth as mirrors, emitting a faint light, and strange-shaped stalactites hang overhead. "Miaotong, fairy, where is this place?" Shen He asked somewhat cautiously. "This is the Dragon Ball trial. Come with me. There may be a place where you can get some benefits, provided you are strong enough." Lin Miaotong's eyes flashed and she said, "Benefit." Hearing this word, Shen He immediately became interested. "Well, come with me." Lin Miaotong snorted softly and walked forward hurriedly. Shen He quickly chased after him. The two of them moved forward. Soon, there was a fork in the road ahead. There are 3 forks in the road ahead. Lin Miaotong looked at Shen He who was following. He patted Shen He on the shoulder. Shen He immediately felt a heat on the back of his hand. A somewhat familiar dragon-shaped mark. Shen He couldn't help but exclaimed in surprise. "Isn't this the pattern of dragon explosion? Ding, you get Dragon Seal X1 and are qualified to enter the Dragon Ball trial once." The system's beep sounded in Shen He's ears. "Dragon Seal? What's the problem?" Lin Miaotong asked with some confusion. "No, let's go." Shen He shook his head. Lin Miaotong did not ask further questions and introduced the situation at hand to Shen He. "This is the Dragon Ball trial. If you complete the trial, you can get a Dragon Ball. There are 3 Dragon Balls here: Wind Dragon, Water Dragon and Fire Dragon. The Fire Dragon Ball and the Wind Dragon Ball have been taken away, and now there is still the Water Dragon Ball. I need that Water Dragon Ball. Although the final rewards of the other 2 trial roads have been taken away, there are still some rewards in the middle. If you are strong enough, you can get them. We will meet at the end." Lin Miaotong said. "I'll go in first." Lin Miaotong said and walked towards the hole on the left. Although there is no big fluctuation in tone. But you can see it. Lin Miaotong looked a little anxious. Shen He wanted to say something else, but he saw Lin Miaotong had entered the fork in the road ahead. There is nothing Chen He can do. We can only do the things in front of us first. Lin Miaotong chose the middle path. Chen He's eyes wandered along the 3 roads. These 3 entrances all look the same. Both the left and right sides have been cleared by people, and there is no final reward. Shen He wanted to be with Lin Miaotong. But, ding, a trial channel only allows 1 person to trial. Shen He was ejected by an invisible barrier. He couldn't enter the trial passage in the middle. Can we only eat leftovers? Shen He said to himself. In the end the rewards are gone. Isn't it just leftovers? Suddenly, Shen He thought for a moment and stretched out his hand. A dragon-shaped badge appeared in his hand. He'd noticed it before. The dragon seal on his hand is exactly the same as the item Dragon's Wrath. That's when Dragon's Wrath appeared in the air. It seemed to be attracted to something. A stream of light immediately flew out from Dragon's Wrath. It hit the stone wall in front. Wow, wow, wow. It caused a burst of earth tremors. When everything is calm again, Shen He suddenly discovered it. On the stone wall ahead, a 4th door appeared. Hey, this is. Shen He was surprised for a while. But more than anything, I am still happy. Is there a 4th door? Have a look. Shen He stepped forward and came to the 4th door. When Shen He came to the 4th door, the system beep was immediately heard. Ding, do you want to participate in the Dragon Ball trial, Earth immediately? Huh, Dragon Ball trial, Earth. Shen He was stunned when he heard this. Didn't Lin Miaotong say that there are only water dragon beads, fire dragon beads, and wind dragon beads? And the fire dragon ball and wind dragon ball were taken away. Why are there still earth dragon balls? No matter, let's go in and take a look first. Shen He immediately chose to enter. Ding, welcome to the Dragon Ball trial. The ultimate reward, the Dragon Ball, is located at the end of the trial. Accompanied by a system prompt, Shen He entered the passage. Looking back, I saw that the hole in the back had disappeared, as if it had never existed. Interesting. Shen He did not act rashly for the time being. Instead, he prioritized checking his own status. Anyway, this trial has no time limit, so you don't have to be so impatient. You can't eat hot tofu in a hurry. There are no negative buffs on me, and there are no restrictions. Let's search on the forum, although I estimate that 80% of the time you won't find anything. Shen He gave up hope and searched for Dragon Ball trial on the forum. The results were not surprising at all. There was no news about Dragon Ball trial, but there was similar news. The first one was Dragon Soul trial. Shen He clicked in and took a look. I found out that it had nothing to do with Dragon Ball trials. There is no strategy, so I have to rely on myself. Shen He took out the snake bone gun and walked forward. Shen He moved forward along the passage. Not long after, they came to a stone room. When Shen He walked into the stone room suddenly lit up. Located in the center of the stone room is a small stone table. Next to it are 2 opposing stone benches. On the stone table, a long candle was lit. Shen He's eyes were immediately attracted by the scene on the stone table. After all, this is the only thing in the stone room, ahem. Go. Shen He suddenly discovered that a chessboard with 19 vertical and 19 horizontal lines was carved on the stone table. The candle burned, releasing curls of smoke. The green smoke did not dissipate, but gathered together and turned into a writhing smoke. As the smoke twisted, a figure formed from the smoke. He sat on the stool opposite. Beat me or tie with me and you can move on. Qing Yanren said. Or, you can choose to challenge by force. The difficulty of the challenge by force will be determined based on the number of chess you lose. Please, go first. After Qing Yanren finished explaining the rules. With a wave of his hand, he asked Shen He to go first. After saying that, Qing Yanren stopped moving. There seemed to be no rush to urge Shen He. So, in this level, the higher your chess skills, the weaker the challenge you have to face. If you can win, you can even pass the level directly. Shen He analyzed Qing Yanren's words and said to himself. No need to go to such trouble, just come and fight. Shen He's spear pointed directly at the Qingyan people. In Go, He only knew the basic rules, but he didn't know the rest at all. It's better not to waste your time on being tortured and killed. Let's start the boss fight directly. Are you sure? The Qingyan man raised his head. The smoke around Shenhe fluctuated. Sure, let's fight directly, Shenhe said in a very certain tone. Regarding his level of Go, Shenhe is still very good at it. As Shenhe's answer sounded, the environment in the entire stone room immediately changed dramatically. The stone table and bench disappeared in the blink of an eye. The green smoke man expanded violently and turned into a cloud monster. Smoke monster, level 40 King Beast BOSS. Looking at the monster not far away, Shenhe swallowed. Currently, the monster's skills and mechanisms are completely unknown. He didn't dare to use Dragon Explosion directly. It would be too uncomfortable if it were a monster with a blood-locking mechanism like the Cross Spider Mother before. Let's try it first. Shenhe waved his spear and poked at the smoke monster. The tip of the gun penetrated into the clouds. Shenhe didn't react at all to the target. There are no damage numbers popping up either. Shenhe's heart suddenly skipped a beat. This is not like the feel of not breaking the defense, but more like the feel of not hitting the ball. Physical immunity. Such a conjecture flashed through Shenhe's mind. This smoke monster is somewhat similar to those elemental creatures. It has the characteristics of physical immunity, which is very reasonable. Although he was not harmed, the cloud monster seemed to be irritated by Shenhe's provocative actions. A small air ball flew out of the clouds. It hit Shenhe's body. A blue number emerged from Shenhe's body. -200. But Shenhe's blood volume did not drop at all. Still full of blood. Just when Shenhe felt a little surprised, the system prompt sounded. Ding, you are affected by the mana burning skill, and your mental power is reduced by 200 points. Until you hear the system prompt. Only then did Shenhe know what happened. Immediately afterwards, I felt funny. Burn mana. This is of no use to me. I only have 10 mana points in total. Burn me 200 mana at once, good guy. Shenhe activates his skills. Continuous cut. The spear in his hand, like a spiritual snake, quickly clicked on the cloud twice. Not surprisingly, no damage was done at all. Now Shenhe has basically confirmed that the cloud monster has the characteristic of physical immunity. But even if you are physically immune, you can only be immune to his physical output. He didn't believe that he could be immune to his real harm. With 3 layers of passive stacking, the snake bone spear in Shenhe's hand immediately turned golden. The smoke monster also seemed to realize that mana burning had no effect on Shenhe. Once again, a red cloud was thrown towards Shenhe. Just when Shenhe unleashed his dragon wrath and hit the cloud monster, the red cloud also fell on Shenhe. Ding, you are affected by a layer of life depletion. The upper limit of your health is -200 points, and the duration is 30 seconds. The system prompt sounded in Shenhe's ears. -4,000. 4,000 points of damage appeared from the cloud monster's body exactly. But the scene that made Shenhe even more excited happened just now. 4,000 health points were deducted. The cloud monster's total HP has only dropped by about 4%, which seems to be less than that. In other words, this cloud monster has a blood volume of more than 100,000. Isn't it too much? Physical immunity, blue burning, upper limit of attack health, and now there are more than 100,000 health. Shenhe swallowed hard. The terror of this cloud monster is unparalleled so far. The other side. It is also a stone room. In the stone room, a girl with a classical oval face and the smoke man sitting opposite were playing the same piece of music. The girl has curved eyebrows, a straight nose, and a rosy mouth. There are also tall and plump breasts combined with the round buttocks, both of which look extremely radiant. Suddenly, the sound of the smoke man's playing appeared in a murmur of noise. Lin Miaotong also stopped playing at this time. Excellent skills, you win, please. After the smoke man finished speaking, his body exploded instantly and disappeared into wisps. A small wooden box fell out of the smoke man's corpse. Lin Miaotong conveniently put away the small wooden box. He looked towards a newly appeared door. The path to the next level appears. After resting for a while, Lin Miaotong walked towards the door. Walking into the door, there is another long and narrow path. After about 3 or 4 minutes, you can see the exit filled with light in front of you. Lin Miaotong walked quickly towards the exit. It exudes a slightly sweet aroma. This is a lush small garden. You can take a look. There are many beautiful flowers blooming in the flower bed. Suddenly, Lin Miaotong's eyes became sharp. He looked at the swaying flowers among the flowers. A fair and pretty face turned crimson unconsciously, and her body became soft for a while. Fanatical, obsessed flower. Lin Miaotong's breathing became heavy. His cold eyes became blurred. If I had known it would be like this, I would have played the next game. Chen He's figure moved quickly in the stone room. His upper limit of health has been cut 4 times, and his upper limit of health is only 2,900 points in total. It's gone after 15 cuts. The mechanism is disgusting, the skills are disgusting, the resistance is disgusting, and even the blood volume is disgusting. Shen He was really disgusted. He has never seen anything so disgusting. By now, Shen He has basically figured out the mechanism of the cloud monster. The cloud monster's attack method is very simple, which is to continuously separate clouds from its body. Throw it towards Chen He. There are 3 types of clouds. One is a blue cloud that deducts the upper limit of mana, which can deduct 200 points of the upper limit of mental energy. And as long as a second blue cloud hits within 30 seconds, the number of layers will be increased and the duration will be refreshed. Shen He's mental value has been at 0 since he was hit by the first blue cloud. Of course, there is no use if the mental value sinks into the river. He has no skills that consume spiritual points. The second type is the one Shen He hates the most. The stacking mechanism is the same as that of the blue cloud. Each layer deducts 200 Shen He's maximum health points. Chen He's current upper limit of health is only 2,300 points. Except for blue clouds and red clouds. There is another type of yellow cloud. The mechanism is the same as the above 2. The only difference is the effect. Yellow cloud effect. It's about pumping attack power. 200 points at a time. Shen He has now been drained of attack power twice. The original attack power of 805 points is now only 405 points. There are 3 types of clouds, one of which will appear randomly every 3 seconds. The clouds move very quickly. Fortunately, Shen He's movement skills were agile, otherwise he would have been hit more times. When there is time later, we must strengthen the pace training. Shen He thought silently in his heart. He has personally experienced the benefits of too many pace training. Buzz. A red cloud split from the cloud monster. Seeing this scene, Shen He felt alarm bells ringing in his heart. In fact, blue clouds and yellow clouds basically have no power on Shen He. His mental value is 0 if it is 0, and does not affect his output. The yellow cloud reduces the attack power. It seems that without reducing the attack power, Shen He can deal physical damage. The cloud boss is physically immune. Only this skill, which reduces the upper limit of blood volume, poses a threat to Shen He, and the threat is huge. This method of attack made Shen He's self-recovery passive and turned him into a clown. How to restore blood if the upper limit is directly reduced? Call out. The red clouds rushed towards Shen He quickly. Shen He quickly made a very ugly rollover, narrowly escaping the red cloud. Then stood up immediately, quickly output towards the cloud monster. Continuous beheading. Snake sting, open, increase attack speed. In less than 3 seconds, Shen He passively activated Dragon Fury. Boom, the golden spear was pointed at the cloud monster. Minus 4,000. A damage number popped up from the top of the cloud monster's head. There are still 80,000 blood left. Shen He saw that the cloud monster still had about 80% of its health bar, and his eyelids shook violently involuntarily. Such a high blood volume is simply too much. Even the dragon explosion skill can only remove 40% of its health in seconds. The mechanism is so disgusting. Shen He could not imagine that other than himself, who could be seriously injured, who else could defeat this boss. A shot fell. It was too late for Shen He to hide. A newly formed red cloud. With lightning speed, it hit Shen He's body. Shen He's 200 life limit was deducted. As a result, Shen He's life limit has been reduced by 1 more life limit. The current maximum life limit is only 2,100 points. He was the only one in the stone room, and there was the immobile cloud monster opposite. Shen He's voice elicited no response at all. Of course, Shen He just said it. Didn't think of responding. continuing to wave the spear in his hand. The attack speed bonus of the snake sting skill has not ended yet. This cloud monster. It's actually a wooden pile. Used to detect output values. Time passes little by little. With Shen Yi's unremitting efforts. Finally, the blood volume of the cloud boss was reduced bit by bit. Buzz. Dragon Fury is passively triggered. Minus 4,000. A bright red number appeared on the head of the cloud monster. This shot. The blood volume of the cloud boss fell below the 50% mark. Boom. A strong wind blew in all directions. Shen Yi was caught off guard and was knocked over by the strong wind. Hit the wall hard. In the body of the cloud monster, the smoke rolled violently, as if there was an invisible force stirring inside. Immediately afterwards, a dull thunder sound came from its body. The sound was low and powerful, like the roar of an ancient giant beast. The thunder lasted for about 3 or 4 seconds, and each sound shook the surrounding air, making people feel an invisible pressure. Ding! The smoke monster's blood volume is lower than 50%, and it turns on the violent state. The frequency of cloud attacks changes from once every 3 seconds to once every 1 second. At the same time, all attribute resistance increases by 20%, and new purple clouds are added. Quote. Along with the changes in the cloud monster, the system also gave new prompts. The attack frequency increases, all attribute resistance increases, and a new type of cloud appears. I don't know what the effect of the new clouds is. When the thunder ended, the cloud monster's body underwent strange changes. The original gray smoke gradually dissipated and was replaced by a mysterious purple cloud. This cloud of mist lingers around the monster's body, like a dream, adding a bit of mystery to it. There was a faint light shining in the purple clouds, as if countless stars were twinkling in it. Under the purple cloud and mist, the body of the cloud monster became larger and more majestic. 10% more, Shen Yi muttered in his mouth. In the blink of an eye, a yellow cloud was seen splitting from the body of the cloud monster. It bombarded him. As long as it's not a red cloud, it's fine. Shen Yi directly faced the yellow cloud, rushed forward, and came to the side of the cloud monster. His current upper limit of blood volume is only 700 points. As long as he is not too unlucky, he will get 4 red clouds in a row that reduce the upper limit of his health. Shen Yi was confident that he would kill the cloud boss before he was killed. Continuous cuts. Snake sting. Go to hell. Shen Yi furiously dealt with the cloud monster. Minus 4,000. A bright red number emerged from the head of the cloud monster. The cloud monster's health was once again reduced by 4,000 points by Shen Yi. 44% remains. At this moment, Shen Yi suddenly felt a sense of danger. A purple cloud broke away from the smoke monster. It splashed towards Shen Yi quickly. Shen Yi stormed out immediately. With a squat, he finally dodged the purple cloud. You can kill the cloud monster in no time. Shen Yi didn't want this matter to hang here because of unknown events. However, Shen Yi didn't notice. At that time, he flashed past a purple light group, which unexpectedly did not hit the surrounding walls and disappear. Instead, it was after making a big turn around a U shape. He bumped into Shen Yi again. Z-la-la. Purple clouds hit Shen Yi's body. Shen Yi instantly felt his whole body tremble. Immediately afterwards, I couldn't move anymore. Waves of electric current were raging through his body. Ding, you were hit by the electric shock cloud and became paralyzed for 2.5 seconds. Depend on 2.5 seconds of paralysis and strong control. In the next 2.5 seconds, Shen Yi could only watch helplessly as a red cloud and a blue cloud hit him. Moreover, a purple cloud shot towards him again. Fortunately, at this time, Shen Yi finally recovered from his paralysis and returned to his normal state. This purple cloud is different from the previous 3 clouds. It seems to have automatic tracking. Avoiding doesn't make much sense. Time is urgent, and Shen Yi can't think of any good solution for the time being. Therefore, Shen Yi's solution is Dragon Blast. Looking at the purple cloud flying towards him, Shen Yi directly used his ultimate move. A thick beam of light shone with dazzling light, and accompanied by the sound of dragon roars, it instantly broke through the small group of purple clouds. This beam of light is like a giant dragon, with incomparable power and majesty, galloping towards the cloud boss. When the light beam collided with the cloud boss, the entire space seemed to tremble. The powerful impact wiped out most of the cloud boss, and the clouds dispersed into countless fragments. Minus 40,000. A bright red number emerged from the head of the cloud boss. After the light dissipated, only the incomplete parts of the originally powerful cloud boss were left. It was squirming in waves, trying to return to its original state. After the baptism of a dragon blast, the cloud boss has only the last trace of blood left. Don't underestimate this bit of bloodskin. This is also a full 4,000 points of health. An ordinary level 40 boss only has about 78,000 health, and a slightly thicker one has 10,000 health. The cloud boss, with only the last bit of blood skin left, still refuses to give up. A red cloud shot towards Shenhe. Shenhe also knew. Too late and things will change. At the fastest speed, he came to the side of the cloud boss. Continuous cuts. 2 knives were struck in succession. Then activate the snake sting skill. Let the red clouds from the cloud boss fall on you. Once again, 200 points of Shenhe's life limit were deducted. Shenhe now only has 300 life points remaining. Puff. A shot hit the cloud boss. 3 layers of passive stacking. The spear in Shenhe's hand immediately turned golden. The passive accumulation of Dragon's Fury is completed. The final blow. Just then, Shenhe's eyes glanced at something on his wrist. Somehow, Shenhe launched a spider web towards the cloud boss. Because Shenhe remembers, web shooter, it seems to have the effect of catching pets. The current cloud boss is only the last bit of size left. The spider web can easily trap it in it. Shenhe's final blow had not yet landed. He was waiting for the system notification sound of failed capture. The body of the cloud monster kept twisting and turning, trying to break free from the restraints. The power of the cloud monster is extremely powerful. Every time it struggles, the spider web shakes violently, as if it can be broken at any time. Dragon Fury passive must be played within 5 seconds. Therefore, if he is not conquered successfully within 5 seconds, Shenhe will fall down without hesitation. 1, 2, 3. Shenhe recited the numbers silently in his heart. When counting to 3, the cobwebs exploded. Just when Shenhe thought that he had failed to conquer it, he was about to kill the cloud monster. A system prompt sounded. Ding, you successfully absorbed the king beast, the smoke beast, and you will be rewarded with 1 king coin x1. The cloud in the spider web turned into a wisp of smoke and got into the equipment of Dragon's Wrath. Hey, what's going on? Shenhe looked very incredible. Judging from the performance of the spider web, it must be that the capture failed, right? This change happened. Shenhe quickly checked the attributes of Dragon's Wrath. Dragon's Wrath. Level 0. Type Jewelry. Attribute bonus. Attack plus 10 * level. Magic resistance plus 8 * level. Passive. Dragon Fury. Every 3 normal attacks, strengthen the next attack. With 100 * level real damage, the enhanced normal attack must be released within 5 seconds. Adjustment rate. This equipment can be regarded as one of the components of any suit. Adjustment rate can only exist on one player. Initiative. Dragon Explosion. Directly causes 1000 * level real damage. Cooling time is 1 hour. Smoke Behemoth Psychic Technique. Channel the Smoke Behemoth and summon the King Beast, the Smoke Behemoth. The level of the Smoke Behemoth is the same as the holder. Warm reminder. Every minute the Smoke Behemoth exists, you need to pay for 1 day. Equipment wearing restrictions. None. Equipment introduction. One of the powers extracted from the ancient wizard after sealing the evil dragon. One more skill. Shenhe read this new skill carefully. It gave him the feeling of a giant gold-swallowing beast. Oh no, time-eating beast. It would take a month to summon it for half an hour. However, if used properly, it might be a big killer. Shenhe weighed the pros and cons of new skills. A door opened on the wall behind the smoke beast. After Shenhe walked around for a while and found nothing. Entered the gate. Go forward along the dim passage. Not long after, Shenhe saw a light door exit. Seeing this situation, Shenhe stepped forward quickly. When Shenhe stepped out of the light door, he immediately breathed in a breath of sweet and heart-stringing air. This is a garden. You can see small flowers blooming in the flower bed. A girl in a white dress with a blushing face was sitting in the middle of the flower garden. Lin Miaotong. Shenhe looked a little surprised. Isn't she in another passage? Why are you here? Moreover, Lin Miaotong's situation seemed a bit wrong at this time. Her fair skin was pink. The whole person exudes an extremely strong sense of charm. You. Lin Miaotong heard footsteps. A pair of watery eyes slowly opened. You, don't, come. Lin Miaotong said with a trembling voice. It seemed like he was trying his best to fight against something. Even though that's what he said. But her beautiful eyes, which were like rippling water, were filled with some kind of desire. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.